Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today Morning News for Wednesday, July 26. I am Marie-Claire Williams. We begin with news that 8 police officers are to face prosecution for the alleged torture of a man in custody. They are Sergeants Darby Griffith, Philiston Gilks, Dave Griffith, Jason Leacock, Neil Grogan, Christopher Alleyne, Dave Rock and Sherry-Ann Watkins. They are due to appear in the Whole Town Magistrates Court on October 2nd to answer to the charge of assault and occasioning actual bodily harm to Rashid King of 17 Husbands Crescent, St. James. They allegedly beat, spat on and electrocuted the man. The incident is said to have occurred on July 1st. Queen's Counsel Andrew Pilgrim and his associate Kamisha Benjamin filed private prosecution against the officers at the Whole Town Court on Monday. King was taken into custody on June 30th and charged with handling a stolen vehicle belonging to Alison Benny Lodge. He was brought before Magistrate Wanda Blair in the Whole Town Court on July 3rd and released on $7,000 bail. But King claimed that it was during his short stay in custody that he was tortured. His attorneys have released pictures of the injuries that their client allegedly suffered. In more news from the court, the Caribbean Court of Justice has quashed the convictions of the 2 Barbadian men who were sentenced to death for the 2006 murder of Damien Alleyne. The Trinidad-based CCJ, which is Barbados' highest court, ruled that Vincent Edwards and Richard Haynes' convictions could not be upheld due to the presentation of insufficient evidence by the Director of Public Prosecutions. The only evidence linking the appellants to the murder was their alleged oral confessions. They were made in separate interviews with officers of the Royal Barbados Police Force while at the Glebe Police Station on July 19, 2007. Almost a year after Alleyne's murder. Queen's Counsel Andrew Pilgrim had argued that there was no case for his clients to answer. And after considering the argument, Justice Winston Anderson ruled that the 2 death row inmates should be allowed to walk free. In other news this morning, Prime Minister Frendel Stewart has told Parliament that he will meet with the social partners to discuss their concerns over government's austerity measures. Stewart gave the assurance during debate on a resolution brought by the opposition to address government's impasse with the trade unions and the private sector. And while not stating an exact date for the talks, Stewart said it will not be held in secret.
The meeting requested, I've promised it. It is going to take place. But as I said, it's going to take place in full glare of the public. I will communicate, as I said in my reply to the head of the Private Sector Association, I will communicate to him and the other social partners when that meeting is going to take place. But I know this, it is not going to take place in secret. It is going to take place in full glare of the public so that Barbadians can see where it is we are going.
And the Prime Minister's statement comes one day after the trade unions and the private sector staged a march through the city to demand more dialogue with the government over the austerity measures. Finance Minister Chris Sinclair has announced an ease for small businesses. Sinclair tabled an amendment in Parliament yesterday that will exempt all small businesses earning $200,000 or less from paying value-added tax. The tax threshold is being raised from $80,000 to $200,000 under the VAT Amendment Bill 2017. Sinclair told Parliament that the social partners, local tax experts and business analysts had examined the recommendations from the recent IMF tax reform study and agreed to raise the threshold.
So relative to this amendment, it is a simple one, but it has far-reaching and broad implications, positive for many of those persons who operate small business. As you know, we have a very large and relatively vibrant small business community in Barbados, and we believe that this is an amendment that will help them, and that it would also help the Barbados Revenue Authority relative to the cost of administering so many small claims on the value-added tax system.
The finance minister added that the bill also seeks to clean up the basket of goods by removing 100 products which do not qualify from a list of 400. Sinclair told the House that the move would also focus on promoting healthy eating.
The Ministry of Health, for example, who sat on the committee, was very insistent that some of the stuff that we had in the basket, now on review, things like hamburgers, hot dogs, wieners, those kinds of things that are very, very heavy in salt, that whilst you would allow some of those to be accessible, that you should limit the amounts and types and varieties, and examine and find those ones, if you can find those ones among that group, which would make for better and healthier eating, and that we should concentrate on putting a lot more fruits and vegetables in the basket to ensure that those persons who are in the lower income brackets to be able at least to afford some of those. So we put in things that we did not have in, for example, things like raspberries and blueberries and blackberries, which we are told by the nutritional experts are high in antioxidants and can assist in healthier bloodlines and in terms of lowering cholesterol and of course fighting cancer and those types of things.
Barbadians will no longer have to endure long waiting periods for cataract surgery. Health Minister John Boyce reports that the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is working to clear the backlog of some 537 cases. He gave the update at a recent meeting of the Democratic Labour Party at St. Giles Primary School.
The team at the hospital, the Director of Medical Services and his consulting team, have determined that we are going to work that cataract backlog down to zero, so that all those operations and procedures can be current. Now, of course, there are mitigating circumstances because the doctor doesn't go in and do these procedures just so. You still have to demonstrate certain balances in terms of your entire health system before they can interfere with something like that. But the point is, I didn't get the response from Dexter, nor Tony Harris, nor Nurse Harris, nor nobody. But an old gentleman in my constituency last night was able to come up to me and say, John, I had my cataract done. I can now see much better out of my left eye, and I'm looking forward to when they do the right eye pretty soon so that I can see again. And I know from the record that this backlog is being tackled, and that it's being tackled successfully in a program which we have set a target of being curbed in that regard.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss Oya.
Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they've got provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the vendor for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shining. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. And we go to St. Lucia, where health officials there are taking steps to minimize the spread of conjunctivitis or red eye. St. Lucia is one of several Caribbean islands that has seen an outbreak of the infection in recent times. We get more from HTS News Force.
Health officials say they have instituted measures to manage the outbreak. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George says these include establishing red eye clinics at healthcare centers across the island and beefed up infection prevention and control measures.
We have also procured and distributed increasing drugs and medication for the management of the condition at the various facilities, and we've provided guidance to both public and private sector health institutions on the care and management of the disease.
According to health officials, red eyes and inflammation caused by a virus, bacteria, or allergy. Symptoms include eyes turning pink or red, with weeping, oozing, itching, and burning. These symptoms can last for several days. The Ministry of Health has issued a number of guidelines to help minimize transmission.
A lot of concerned businesses have been expressing in terms of requesting guidance from the ministry in managing this present situation. We're asking the public in terms of ensuring the implementation of sanitary measures to protect themselves and their family from getting the disease, in terms of frequent hand washing and also reducing the contact in terms of putting their hands in their eyes to reduce the possible contamination.
And finally, the U.S. House of Representatives has voted to impose fresh sanctions on Russia. The vote comes despite objections from President Donald Trump. Senior officials will be targeted in retaliation for alleged Russian interference in the U.S. 2016 presidential election. The bill is likely to complicate Trump's hopes of improving relations with Moscow, and it needs to be passed through the Senate before it can be sent to the president to be signed. The White House says it is reviewing the bill, and it is not clear whether the president will veto it. That's news this morning. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can find us on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Marie Claire Williams. Do have a good day.